evening to you, our viewers out there, and I'm glad to welcome you to another edition of the Youth Arrive Chat Line, Between the Lines with Yemi. Happy New Week from my end here. How is your week going? Ours is going pretty fine. I want to really appreciate everyone for always supporting us with your likes, with your comments, and with your shares. It means so much to us. Thank you. Today, as always, as you know that we always bring to you nice and amazing, valuable content. Today is not any different. Today we'll be talking about a very important topic titled Value, a Recipe for Success. I will not be discussing this alone. I have two amazing guests with me on the show today, and I would like them to introduce themselves. Over to you guys. Welcome to Youth Arrive Chatline. Please, who wants to introduce themselves first?
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
Thank you very much for inviting us here. And my name is Brian Mansota, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Well, thank you so much for having us here. My name is Fumi.
Okay. So those are my guests, very humble people, but they are loaded with a lot of stuff. I will not fumble much about them. You will see by yourself. Thank you once again, and we'll dive right into the show. So I saw this quote by Sunday Adelaja. It says that you must add value to yourself to be relevant. So I would like to ask us first, what does it mean to be valuable?
Okay, I'll go first. To be valuable means you're unique. You're unique. You're different. You do things in a different way.
Mm.
It's not about having the skills just to do whatever you want to do. You have to put so much quality. Of what quality do you have to offer? That determines the level of value you have. Now, education or probably you learning a trading or anything doesn't even give you the ability to have value. What gives you value is the inherent qualities that you have that will make you different from what other people are doing. So that is what I have to say.
If I actually hear you correctly, it means that the quality of the things that you add to something is actually your value. Thank you so much. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, from this literal sense, maybe even say dictionary sense, it means being useful and helpful. Those are two critical things we have to know. That is, in any particular situation we find ourselves in, one has to be useful for them to be valuable. And not only should you be useful, but also you should be helpful, because if you are equipped with particular skills or with particular knowledge, you are useful in your own being independently. But now if you become helpful to an individual, now you are valuable to that person. So I think it's very important to consider those two things, usefulness and helpfulness.
So it means that you're not only valuable to just the things that concern you alone independently, you need to be valuable into the life of others too. So I think from both of our guests, I can actually bring out that valuable is about quality, it's about usefulness, and it's uniqueness. Really, that's amazing. I would like to throw a particular question. In what areas of our life can we be valuable? You know, sometimes she was talking now, and first thing that came to my mind was, when you're doing a business, you need to add value, quality. But I'm pretty sure that that's not the only area of life that we can actually add value. So I would like us to discuss. So people are not saying that, that's my business. I think I need to start putting, and then they leave other aspects of their lives, and then they focus on one thing. Can we go on that?
Actually, being valuable it's cut across every sphere of life. It's not about business. It's not about even as a human being, you have to be valuable. Then how can you be valuable? Because if you're not valuable, there's no how you can see yourself growing. Your measure of growth can only be measured or can only be seen based on the value you give to people, based on the value people actually see or can get from you. So it's not just about business. It's not just about probably you sing. It's cut across every sphere of life, probably in your education, in your career, your business, even your relationship with people. It matters a lot. The way you love people, the way you accept people, it matters a lot. Then they will see that yes, this person is valuable. My other person said it's about being helpful and useful. Now, you can be helpful to yourself, you can be useful, but are you actually useful to others? Can people actually see that, okay, if I go to meet this person, I know my problem is going to be solved? Not about in a material aspect, but even words that comes out of your mouth, it goes a long way. So that is what I can actually say.
Thank you so much for me. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I agree very much with what Fumi is saying here. And it's also very important to take into consideration that being valuable has to do with us offering the service to others. There's a difference between being valuable and having self-value. If I have self-value, it's about me, just how I see myself. But when I talk about being valuable, it has to be about one thing offering its service or offering its importance to another thing. So now it covers a lot of things in life. That is in business, in our social lives, spiritual lives. As I said earlier on in the definition, you are useful in business because you have certain knowledge in business. Therefore, if you are helpful to a particular person, now you are a valuable business partner. Now, let's talk about social life. You are a colleague. You are really stable emotionally. Therefore, in this case, you are useful in the area where when someone is having troubles in his life, you are very useful. But so if you help a person to, now you are very valuable. Yeah, so it covers a lot of things in our lives. The only thing to remember is that be useful and be helpful for you to be valuable. Those things.
Thank you so much, guys. I've also been able to put together from the answers that our guests have given that being valuable isn't just about one aspect of our lives, and that Brian mentioned that it is two different things. One, to be self-valuable, you have value for yourself, and to be valuable to the services you give to others, not only in business or in your job, but even socially among friends, even family. Can someone really count on you and on stuff like that? Now, we want to discuss the need for being valuable. I don't owe anybody anything anyway. So if you come to me and I can't offer you something, then you can go somewhere else. But what does it mean? What is the need for to be valuable? Why do I need it?
Firstly, everyone needs to be valuable.
Okay.
Everyone needs to be valuable. So, I will first of all mention character when it comes to you, like being valuable. Apart from probably ability or whatever, your character matters a lot. Now, I'm going to use an example of employment because I'm much of a career and business person. Now, you're skilled in a particular thing, and probably they got you employed to an organization. Now, you need some other things. It's not about the skill, it's not about the technical competence that you have that's going to keep you in that job.
No.
You have to have some characters that will make people see that, this person is just different. Come on, are you humble enough? Are you like, do you actually love your neighbors? Can you actually give? Are you able to like see the good in people, not just seeing the bad things in them? There's an idea that says that you can get a job by technical competence, but it's only your character that will make you to be promoted. Yes, because if you don't have the required character, your boss or your employer won't see. In fact, they say the character is going to just cover the bad character is going to cover the technical competence you have. So those two things work hand in hand: virtue and skills. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you so much. It means that yes, we've gone to school. It means that yes, we've gotten that additional value from books and maybe skills and all of that. But character also is a value. If I got it right from her, it's also a value. When you can be patient with someone, you work at a place where you need to be patiently talking to people, but you are so rash in everything. Nobody really likes you. Then what's the need for you being there when you cannot even, and someone who probably doesn't even have up to your maybe level of acquisition of things that you've achieved for yourself, now we take over. So the need for the value of humility and character is very important. Patience and all of that. Thank you so much for me.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. Now, considering the need for being valuable, I think it's a necessity for us to be valuable.
It's necessary.
It's necessary to be valuable.
Wow.
It's not a choice, because when few people comes together, they form a society, they form a community. And for them to be well positioned in that community, they need to be offering something. Otherwise, they are irrelevant in that society. Therefore, you could be relevant or you can be useful in the area of academics, area of business, area of supporting socially. But if you not have any value in all these areas, which means you do not fit on the puzzle, because a society is like a puzzle of few individuals integrated together, offering one another a support. So if you are not within the power to be part of a piece of that puzzle, which means you find yourself being neglected. You are out of the society. And by nature, we human beings, we are wired to belong. So without being valuable, you have no way you can fit in a particular puzzle and you do not belong there. So you are just isolated by yourself, and that is quite detrimental to us as human beings. So it's a necessity, it's not a choice.
It's a necessity.
Yeah, I would like to say something. It's not just about you having the skills. Fine, skill makes you valuable, definitely, because if you don't have the required skills, people will don't even like see you as anything.
Look at you.
But I would like to tell everybody that you having the skill and character, it works hand in hand. These things are virtue. You cannot just say you have the required skill and you leave those character out of it. You're not going to be seen as anything. So don't have character and ignore skills, and don't have skills and ignore character. They both work hand in hand. So it takes skills to turn a product into service. Before people can actually see this product and you give it to them as service, it requires human skills and technical know-how. But at the same time, you also need virtues, you also need character. Just as my partner said, you can't be relevant in the community when you're not valuable. So everyone needs to be valuable, whether you're washing plates. Yes, you have to be valuable. Let people see that, okay, what she's doing, she does it
Differently, being different.
She greets differently. She loves differently. She gives freely, like differently. It's not about you giving something and you have to start announcing like, yes, I gave it to her. No.
Thank you so much, guys. I would like to actually now come from this. Let's put ourselves in the scenario of a student. Someone who is a student, how can the person stand out to be different? You know, all of us are let's say me, myself, you, Brian, we're all students and something like that. And we want to be a student with a difference. What can I do? I want us to take it from student to business person to relationships with friends. What are the things that we can portray that we show that this person is more valuable, this person is different? So as a student, let's start from student world. As a student, what are the things that I can do to add value to myself?
As a student, number one, you have to actually remove laziness and mediocrity.
Remove laziness and mediocrity. But you can pray. You can pray.
Prayer is a different thing. It's good to pray. Okay? If you're praying and you're not putting work, you're not putting hard work, it's futile. So first thing is to remove laziness and mediocrity. And another thing, as a student, you don't just have to depend on what your lecturer or what you learn in the four corners of school. You have to go all the way to outsource information. Get more information that will increase that which your lecturer has instilled into you. If not, you're just going to, like most of us. So that is just like, you just have to outsource information. Make sure you have good character. As I've been hammering on it, you can't be valuable and you don't have character.
For me, has been actually keen on this character.
No, it's not just because you can have the whole skill. Once you don't have character, people won't even see what you have. That's just it.
Let's hear from Brian.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree with what Fumi is saying here. It's not just about you focusing on what you are learning in school. Be curious.
Curiosity.
For me as a student, the question I always ask myself from being a young student until where I am right now, it's if I'm to be given an actual job right now, the skills I have, can they help me to actually do the job?
Great.
Whenever I say kinda, it means that there's a gap, right? And most of the time it's always kinda. Or for example, I'm into finance, for example. You focus on doing financial analysis of companies, valuing companies and everything. I used to know what it means by definition. What is valuing a company, finding its actual value. But Brian, can you actually find the actual value of Facebook or Google right now if they are to hire you and put in that position and say, Brian, can you value the intrinsic value of this company here? The answer is no. So whenever I got a no, then I say that I have to try more. I'm a student, but I have to start learning how to do it practically. Practically. Folding your hands, listen to the lecture, like she said here. And also, one more thing I notice in students also these days, they have these technical skills they learn from class, but we still learn this element of professionalism around us. That's why even people in the industry sometimes they don't want to hire students because they don't want you to be a burden in the company. So it's time to start teaching yourself. If you always wake up late, going to school late, you don't do your assignment in time. Now it's time for you to start being conscientious, for example. Start doing everything in order. Maybe the end of your studies, let's say in your 4th year and 5th year and all those things. Start doing everything in time, do assignments in time because you are training yourself on things you want to do in life.
Training oneself. Thank you so much. Now let's quickly look at a business person. How can a business person add value to themselves? I have the money, I have the capital, I have the nice area where I want to set up my business. In fact, I have business partners. I have people who believe in me to start this business and to run it. What else do I need to do to make sure that mine is different and all of that?
Anyway, I'm a business person.
Yes.
So let me start by saying that you are not yet valuable if people get to worry about the resources or the time they are going to put into that thing to actually get your time. When they don't care about that resources, they don't care about all they want to see is to acquire your product, to acquire your service, then you are valuable. There are sometimes that I don't mind the amount of money or the amount of stress I have to go through before I can get a particular product. Because I know that at the end of the day, when I get that product, it's going to be quality. It's not quantity, it's quality. So that is it. Now, as a business person, for you to be valuable, number one, you have to make sure that you actually put an extra, how I put it now, you make your service unique. Add something, there's a spice it up.
Add seasonings.
Yeah, so make it unique. Okay, everybody is doing this thing. How can I do it that is going to be different from how everyone is doing it? Probably you're the kind of person that when your customers are, because customers can actually get you angry. Now, character comes in place. You're temperamental. You don't know how to talk. I am saying that says that customers are always right. Now, but sometimes these customers will push you to the extent that you feel like you have to talk. Now, when the urge to talk comes and you don't talk, then you become valuable. Then your character is upfront. So that is it. You have to be able to actually do your thing. Then get more. Apart from doing things in a unique way, have good relationship with customer. The customer relationship. That is very, very key.
Very, very
then
key.
you see that even when 100 people are doing the same thing, because of the way you relate with
people,
customers, they will definitely come and they won't even mind. And when probably you're making cake now and your cake is very sweet and fluffy compared to other people, they would, even if you call it 1,000 TL, they're going to buy it because they are getting paid for. They are getting the service that they actually want, not spending a whole lot of money and
nothing is coming. Brian, let's hear from Brian.
Yeah,
Thank you
sure.
for me.
It's like as someone who graduated from business school, there's something that always keep ringing in my head that business, in simple definition, it's a solution to a problem. And whenever there's a solution to a problem, which means that solution is very valuable to people in caring the problem. Now, for you to be even more valuable now, these days there's this intensity of communication, of competition rather, around us, for example. But there was a problem, for example, of sending products to Africa, right? There was a problem of sending items to Africa. And now there are many cargos.
That's
right?
good.
So, first of all, whoever made the cargo first became a valuable person to the community. But now everyone has opened a cargo. Now, how else can I be even more valuable given the intensity of the of the competition, right? Which means that's when now we talk about being differentiation, for example. Add something, spice it up, like she said. Everyone is doing now. There are standardized products, standardized services. How else can I make mine different? Maybe everyone offers the cargo, but for me, I have better customer service. Everyone always complains about this company not responding to the messages, but I'm gonna start responding to my messages. These guys, they never smile. I want to make it that no matter how your day, how bad your day is going,
you need to smile.
You will smile for my customers. They are always right.
That's true.
By doing these little things, You have managed to differentiate yourself. Because even from the business perspective, it's one of the main strategies, for example, differentiating yourself or having cost leadership. That is lowering your cost and everything. So let's talk about adding value by differentiating yourself from others. Always add something that people are not doing. And it's very easy because observe what everyone is doing, start with the market, what everyone is doing, and just ask yourself, what else can I just add to make myself a little bit different? Now you are more valuable.
Not valuable.
than everyone else.
Thank you so much. Now, I want us to very quickly touch on the effect of value on self-worth and confidence. Self-worth and confidence. I would have loved that we go into other aspects, but you see, all along the explanations we've been having so far, I realize that we've touched even relationships with people in your career. I think you mentioned that you want to go into the world out there, but your schooling life right now, you are always late to places. It means that to someone who is working as a career now, you also need to, reconstruct your life in such a way that you're different from other people who work with you. Let your life be like very organized. We need to be organized, which is another value to be added. Now, let's see what the effect of value is on self-worth and confidence. So when you add value to yourself, does it improve or increase your self-worth and the confidence that you have in yourself, or how does it work?
Okay, let's go to talking from the career aspect now.
Career, no, thank you.
Aspect. When you are valuable, definitely it's a direct proportion. Your self-worth will increase. When you do what other people don't do, you spend more time in studying, you spend more time getting resources, you spend more time getting certifications that will make you stand out. Definitely, after the whole thing, you stand out. It's just something normal. Your confidence will increase. You can't sit down and see somebody talk to you anyhow, because you have that thing that others don't have. For example, you are into finance, you did probably accounting in university, you studied accounting, masters. Man, like everybody is having masters. No matter so like you have to just look for something that will make you stand out. Now you go ahead, you get certifications, you get like ACCA, CFA, and the likes. Now, do you think somebody will just come and talk to you anyhow? No. They will even respect you. And wherever organizations you're going to be applying to, they already know that yes, this person is well loaded.
Load yourself with right
loaded.
information. Good.
That is why I said get resources. When you become the delight of many, when you become the delight of a lot of employers, then you are valuable. But if you are still dragging down and people are just putting you aside, and man, you have to work on yourself.
I like the fact that you mentioned something on certifications, which is a good information for people. Maybe we have we have a BSc, like she mentioned, and everybody has BSc these days. Masters, almost everybody has masters. In fact, PhD now is beginning to look like let me just go to PhD immediately. But one of the things is that knowledge is not something that finishes. It doesn't end. We can get knowledge, keep on getting knowledge, and things are moving faster these days. Today is an update to yesterday in the way the world is going now. So we need to update ourselves, and there are certification courses that we can even take online. Some are even online these days that you can get to get more information, and you'll be surprised how these things can actually help us. So our self-worth increases based on the value that we have to ourselves. Thank you so much for me. Over to you now.
Yeah, now it's like, since you already touched on the area of business and career and all those things, let me go back to a little bit of, I'm quite fascinated by the psychology part of the human being.
Okay.
Let's look at this, value this way. Right. Apart from the obvious things that you need to study, you need to work hard and all those things, sometimes you can actually increase your value by developing your personality.
Personality development.
Work on your personality. When I say personality, it incorporates a lot of things. Take for example, based on some research, they believe that we are categorized, our personality is categorized into 5 dimensions, for example. That is your level of openness, for example, level of conscientiousness, how organized you are, how unorganized you are, and everything. Your extraversion, are you talkative, are you less talkative? Agreeableness, are you highly agreeable, less agreeable? Neuroticism, how much you are afraid. Now, knowing where you are positioned on that continuum, it's like a continuum, for example, highly agreeable, less agreeable. Knowing where you are positioned can help you to actually develop yourself by pushing yourself to see how it is like on the other side of the continent. I don't know what I say. For example, let's say you are a person who likes to program computers and everything, which probably you never get to engage with talking with people. Which probably your social skills are very low, which means you can get a nice job in the area of marketing and everything. But look at the organizations these days. If they are to hire you with your lack of social skills, let's say you are very low on extraversion, for example, you are an introvert, for example, you are very low in that area, which means they need to hire you with your computer skills, and they have to come and hire another person again who's going to talk to the customers. You create an application, you create a website. Now someone has to pitch the idea. They need two people, and from a business perspective, that's expensive for them. What about if you are an individual who is quite highly conscientious, you are really great in the skills of programming, then you teach yourself and push yourself to be on the other side of the continuum. You're an introvert, but teach yourself the skills of communicating. Now, instead of for the company to hire someone who's going to get $15,000, now they have to pay you only $20,000 because you are now doing the job of programming. At the same time, you pitch the idea to our customers.
That's amazing.
So we as individuals, knowing where we are placed in terms of our personality, can help us to know how far we have to push ourselves on the other side of the continuum, and we can develop ourselves to become more valuable on the personality side.
I remember that Bible verse in the Bible that says that "Seest thou a man diligent in his work, he will not sit among mean men, but the person will be found among kings." You know, sometimes we tell ourselves that we even claim that particular thing as a promise into our life, but we don't really look into what it says. "Seest thou so a man that is diligent." So it takes diligence to actually add all these things, like the things you've mentioned now, your personality. You don't have to be a talkative anyway, but you should be able to pitch what you actually programmed. If I get
see what's like to be on the other side.
Thank you so much.
In one side of our continuum of personality.
Explore.
Try to wonder, what is it like to be organized? What is it like to be a quiet person? What is it like to be a little bit disagreeable? If you're always agreeable, try to see how is it like to be disagreeable also. Teach yourself to be disagreeable or teach yourself to be agreeable.
That's amazing.
You develop yourself and become more valuable.
So we are actually being able to be useful here and there. We are not just one monopoly.
Which means now you can navigate between both environments.
Thank you so much, guys, for being on the show today. And it's been very informative so far. I really learned a lot myself, and I'm sure that our viewers out there, they have learned a lot as well. Thank you for joining us today. And before we go, I would like my guests to actually just say one or two things that, they just leave us with, because, this epitome of great wisdom. We need to have a final words from you. And please don't forget to leave your comments. Your shares will help us. Your subscribing to our channel will help us also. Thank you so much for always doing that. And you can also share with your friends and family also, enemies inclusive. So before we go, please, can you say one or two things about basically our topic for today, and we'll call it a day?
Okay. Lastly, thank you so much for having me here. I would like to say that whatever you're doing, whatever you find yourself doing, don't be a local champion.
I will not be a local champion.
Benchmark yourself globally.
Great.
Compare yourself with things international. Don't go local. Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Yemi, for having me here. It's been an honor to be here and to be sharing these other things that you've shared. And regarding value, there's always a room for you to get more value. And always ask yourself, how can I be useful? And once you ask yourself how you can be useful, now ask yourself, how can I be helpful with my usefulness? Once you do that, there's always, even if you do not have a particular skill in a particular area, you tell yourself that, you know what, I went to this village. I don't know how I can manage to bring water to their area. I'm very useless in this area. I don't know what to do. So learn a skill that will make you useful. Just when you learn being useful here, don't just walk away with your skill of now drilling water. Now be helpful to them.
Be helpful.
So always ask yourself, whenever you see a problem, how can I be useful and how can I be helpful?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that's the end of the show for today. It's been amazing. It's been really, really a roller coaster of amazingness. So I would like that my guests introduce themselves again, So when you see them on the road, or you see them on TV, or you see them on billboards, because I'm sitting with great people already. So I've seen that person before. So please, can you reintroduce yourself, guys?
Yes, my name is Brian Mansoda, and I am in finance.
Amazing.
My name is Fumi. I'm also in finance. Actually.
Okay, so I can. That's amazing. My name remains Yemi, everybody, and I'm saying again, thank you for joining us, and we keep bringing you amazing comments. See you next time.